Session layer, the fifth layer in OSI model. This layer is responsible for establishing of connection, maintenance of session, authentication, and also ensure security. So what it means, what are the functions performed by the session layer is basically this layer is responsible for making the connection between the two different systems, maintain that session or maintain that particular session in which the data can be communicated from sender to receiver. The authentication, only the authorized person can communicate with each other, and to ensure the security. Security means if the communication is done between the sender and receiver, no the third one person who is able to access all the data that is transferred between the sender and receiver. The functions of the session layer are session establishment, maintenance, and termination. The layer allows the two process to establish, use, and terminate a connection. What it means, the first function of the session layer is to maintain, to establish a connection, and that connection is known as the session between the two different systems. Maintain that session, and after the communication is done, to terminate that particular connection. Second, synchronization. This layer allows a process to add checkpoints which are considered as the synchronization points into the data. These synchronization points help to identify the error so that the data is resynchronized properly, and ends of the messages are not cut permanently and the data loss is avoided. The second one is synchronization. Basically, in this session layer, they can add the checkpoints. Suppose I want to send the data towards you and I am sending the 100 packets towards you. So they can add the checkpoints after every 10 packets. What it means, they add the checkpoint first on the 10th packet, second on the 20th packet, then 30th, then 40th, then 50th. So what is the function of these checkpoints? Whenever you receive the data, that if you can easily determine the total number of packets received by you with the help of checkpoints. Suppose if you receiving the fourth checkpoint, means the 40 packets can be received by your side. After 4 checkpoints, no checkpoint is there received by you. So what it means, you can simply say to resend the packets after the 4th checkpoint. And after the 4th checkpoint, the packet number is 41. So this is called the synchronization. The next is the dialog control. The session layer allows two systems to start communication with each other in a half duplex or full duplex. Dialog control means to control the transfer of data, and to control the transfer of data means to control the transfer of data in a particular mode, in the particular transmission mode. And either they sends the data in the half duplex or they sends the data in full duplex. The sixth layer is presentation layer. Presentation layer is also called the translation layer. The data from the application layer is extracted here and maintained as per the required format to transmit over the network. What it means, this particular layer is also known as the translation layer. And the data from the application layer is extracted. Application is the top layer or the 7th layer. The data is extracted from the application layer and manipulated as per requirement, or you can say as per required format that is going to be transmitted over the network. The functions of the presentation layers are, the first is translation. Translation means they can translate the data from one format to the other format if the requirement is there. For example, from the ASCII code, ASCII, from the ASCII to EBCDIC codes, that is EBCDIC, or you can simply write, it can translate the data from one format to the other format. Second, encryption, decryption. Data encryption translates the data into the another form or a code. The encrypted data is known as the ciphertext and the decrypted data is known as the plain text. A key value is used for encrypting as well as decrypting the data. The second function is encryption, decryption. Encryption means whenever you change the plain text into the unreadable text. That text is known as the ciphertext. And whenever at the receiver side, the receiver can receive the ciphertext. Now they can decrypt the data. Decrypt means from unreadable form to a readable form. This is called encryption decryption. The third is compression. Compression means to compress the data and reduces the number of bits that needs to be transmitted on the network. What it means, we all know the data is sent in the form of number of bits, and whenever the compression is there, they can reduce the number of bits and the data is automatically compressed, and the compressed data is sent from the sender side to the receiver side. Okay, the seventh or the topmost layer of the OSI model is application layer. At the very top of the OSI reference model stack of layers, we find the application layer, which is implemented by the network applications. These applications produce the data which has to be transferred over the network. This layer also serves as a window for the application services to access the network and to display the received information to the users. So what it means, basically application layer is the top layer of OSI model, and these applications, they can be implemented by the network applications, any application that are working over there, and these applications basically produce the data uh, which has to be transferred over the network from one system to the other system. And this layer also serves as the windows means for the application services to access the network, to means to use the network and to display the received information by the users or to the users. What it means, all the users at the end, they receive the information with the help of applications, and these applications are work with the help of application layer. So the functions of the application layers are network, virtual terminal. With the help of virtual terminal, we are going to access the services. FTAM, that is file transfer, access and management. How the files are transferred, how these files can be accessed, and how we can manage these files. Mail services, you can receive the mails. You are, suppose I receive the mail or Gmail. What it means, the application that is used for receiving that particular information is Gmail. Gmail is receives the data, translate the data, make comfortable in the user's form, and display on my Gmail account. And the last one is directory services, where the number of directories are there from where the data is saved in a user understandable information. So this is all about the application layer. Also, this is all about the OSI model.